Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us. As wildfires continue to burn across East Texas, it calls for additional help. The U.S. Forest Service has sent out helicopters to the area to give some relief. Right now, there are multiple fires burning in our region. Several other fires that sparked in deep East Texas in recent days have since been contained. KLTV7's Mariela Gonzalez has more on the aircraft that's ready to be sent up to help fight some wildfires.
Stationed at the Angelina County Airport are two different aircrafts sent by the U.S. and State Forest Service. Håkan Broberg is the pilot in command of the A-1 Black Hawk from Air Resources. Broberg says the aircraft will be mainly used for larger wildfires. The water bucket can carry 780 water gallons, but if needed, can carry more.
The max payload, though, this can do 6,700 pounds with the current climate conditions.
Peter Howarth is the pilot with U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. The agency brought in an Airbus AS-350A Star that Howarth says can help in various missions.
Mainly we're doing aerial recons to identify initial starts in these national forests.
Trevor Canada is the manager trainee and says recent missions in East Texas have been nature caused.
The ones that we have been working for the past week have been lightning caused fires from some of the afternoon thunderstorms.
Jan Ammon is the public information officer with Sabine National Forest. As of today, the forest fire is 35% contained and burned over 1,200 acres. Ammon says helicopters play a vital role in putting wildfires out.
We can't put heavy equipment in the wilderness, so the best thing is for us to do water drops from the air.
Mariela Gonzalez, KLTV 7 News.
And the aircraft can be called out to anywhere in East Texas. All right.